Hey, so welcome back to my shop. It's Sunday morning, and today begins, I'm hoping, a new series of videos, which are actually going to be vlogs, okay? Not a build video. I don't have time to do real build videos right now. And in this series, I want to share with you my experiences and opinions on what it takes to be a maker. And if your workbench looks like this, or this, and the chances are you already are a maker or on your way to becoming one. Okay, so let's begin with the definition of a maker, I guess. Is a maker simply someone that makes things? Well, yes and no. In my opinion, though, in the meaning of the modern culture word of being a maker involves, some level of creativity, innovation, design. So let me give you an analogy. If you're a baker and you're just simply following a recipe someone else has made, and you're baking a batch of chocolate chip cookies, are you a maker? Well, with the risk of offending some people, I'm gonna say no, you're not a maker. However, if you take that recipe and modify it, make it your own, so to speak, then now you're a maker-baker. So you see, in a broad term, at some level, we're all makers, all human beings. Otherwise, as a species, we couldn't have built the civilization that we have. So let me wrap up my definition here. I believe that if you innovate, create, and use tools of some sort, you're a maker. Whether you're a seamstress, a carpenter, the baker, real estate agent, we just all use different tools. We're going to be dealing more with not necessarily the tools. That's a step of the process in being a maker. But those are skills that you can learn and develop as you go. If you don't know how to solder, you can learn how to solder, weld. You can have someone weld for you and learn how to weld. We're not going to touch on those mostly in this series. We're going to be talking more about specifically philosophy of design, elements of design, form, function, and the other important things that make you a maker or a more successful maker. Things like critical thinking, things like problem solving, when to select certain materials or processes to make your design a reality. I'm going to talk briefly a little bit about strategy and tactics and the differences between the two, because they apply to being a maker just like they apply to military strategies and tactics or most everything else in the world. So how does strategy and tactics play into being a maker or a successful maker? Well, look at it like this. Strategy is the plan, and you always have to have a plan in anything. So a strategy is the plan. Tactics are the methods you use to go about reaching your goal or your plan, which is your goal. So if you consider another analogy, you want to build a shed. Okay? You want to build a shed. Is that your strategy? Well, not really, not according to the textbook definition of strategy. A strategy is the plan and, towards a goal. Your goal or strategy in this case of building a shed is really having somewhere to put your stuff. That is your strategy. Building the shed or choosing to build a shed is a tactic. And there are other tactics to solve the same goal. You could rent a storage unit. You could borrow your buddy's garage to store the stuff. You could get rid of your stuff. Those are all other tactics to solve the problem or the goal. The overall strategy is finding somewhere to put your stuff. So building a shed is more like, I call it a sub-strategy, because in any big plan, big overall plan, it's comprised of a set of smaller plans, because you got to break a project into steps. For instance, organization skills are very important. And that's primarily going to be the discussion in our next video, is organizational skills, because it takes strong organizational skills to pull off any decent sized project. And it's a critical part of it. Aside from problem solving and actually using the tools and skills to build something, you can't do it if you're not organized. I mean, it just won't, you won't get the results you expect. So tactics are more about what we're concerned with in this video, the sub-strategies and the tactics of how to go about achieving your overall goal or plan. And that's pretty much all I got for today, guys. Hope to see you next week, where we'll talk about organizational skills and planning of a project. We're going to break it down into steps so that any big project can easily be overwhelming, especially if you don't have all the skills you currently need to do that project. We're going to outline how you can still go about achieving your goal. So I hope to see you next week. Thanks for watching.